What's up, good folks? Welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Bernicia, and you're here with N.E.X.T. Now, y'all see the title. So we're here to talk about Love Cabin yet again, okay? And I am so sorry, guys, but I'm gonna have to drop episode 1 and 2 recaps at the same time. I finished it, but then I forgot to post it Friday. So guess what? Y'all gonna get both recaps back to back. All right. So this recap, we're talking about episode 3. Episode 3 picks up with the whole challenge that Ray J had set up. Okay, so he had basically the last person who got an assignment was Chloe, and Chloe's assignment was to basically check, put her hands in all the guys' pants and rate them from 1 to 5 who had the biggest. Okay, so at this point, she had already stuck her hands in what you call it, pants, right? She had already stuck her hands in Camo's pants, and Ray J asked her to compare uh between Camo and Trap. Okay, so she, according to her, Camo was number 1 and Trap was number 2. All right. Now, out of all the guys, Brian, it was no surprise. I mean, he is the only Asian, okay? He's Asian, and he is no surprise. He's also the smallest guy on the show by size, okay? But she literally said that he was rated last as far as who had the biggest hoo-ha. He was rated last, and that was no shocker, okay? And you can tell by the look on Nisa's face that she was second guessing her coupling with Brian, all right? But I ain't gonna lie, dude was a good sport about it, because for somebody to be saying that about me on national fucking TV, and I'm getting compared as the smallest against all the guys, like, that had to be embarrassing. I was embarrassed for him, but dude was a good sport about it. Okay. Now, with that being said, Ray J just had a lot going on with this challenge. Like, there was no particular order, there was no structure to it. He was just basically making people do shit. Just do shit, okay? So, Chloe had to then stick her hands in both Thanos and John's pants and compare the two. And of course, I could have said that just by looking at the two guys, that John was the bigger guy. Also, he was also more girthy, according to Chloe. Okay, homegirl was loving her assignment. All right. So then he made Ray J asked Desi who she think was the best kisser. Now this kind of surprised me, because out of all people, I wouldn't expect her to have said Thanos, but she picked Thanos. Okay, so Ray J make her and Thanos kiss, and I ain't gonna lie, it did look sexy. It was a little sexy. She also had to kiss Mike right after, and at this point, I feel bad for Mike. It's like he keep getting the shit end of the stick, and I don't see why. Okay, I honestly don't see why. The man, he's obviously one of the best pick out of the litter, but yet somehow he still keeps getting the shit end of the stick. uh, so he had to go after Thanos to kiss his girl. He should have been the first one because he kissed her. That was his partner. But anyway, he goes after Thanos, and then after that, Trap kissed Desi. Now, I was also surprised that Desi, when she kissed Trap in her confessional, she was saying that basically her mind is changing about Trap. She was initially very attracted to him, but now at this point, she's feeling like a lot of the other girls want him, and she don't have time to chase. Okay, and I'm thinking, okay, good for you, girl, because Trap really ain't what it is. Judging by the little shit I don't see from that boy, and it gets worse this episode, but we'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, he ain't what it is, girl. You stick with Mike. Stick with Mike. So Ray J ended up pairing Mike with Althea. Now, dude, I didn't expect him to be so upset about it, but he did not look happy about that shit at all. Like, at all. He even called Althea a BBL bandit. See, Mike's serious about his shit. He don't want girls that had augmentations. He want a natural, pretty chick like Desi. I'm not surprised though. Desi, when I first see the girl, Desi definitely stood out to me as just being naturally just pretty. Okay, she's used to see a lot of girls like that back in the 90s. These days, a lot of them look like Althea and Sheila. but Desi really is a natural beauty. Okay. Um. So then it was Nisa's turn to do her challenge, do her what challenge, whatever it's called. And so Nisa gets up and she chooses to script instead of doing the dare challenge. And so she ended up showing off her tits. Homegirl had a very nice pair of boobs, okay? You should have seen John. Y'all should have seen John in the confessionals. Dude was excited, okay? Dude was really excited. That dude ain't nothing but a horn dog, by the way, okay? So Ray J says, okay, so basically at this point he tells the guys and the girls to split up into groups. Okay, girls over here, guys over here. He wants them to pick. He wants the girls to pick the guy that they want to send home. The guys to pick the girl that they want to send home. Now this is where shit get a little tricky and start getting spicy. Okay. When it came to the guys, it seemed like they pretty much agreed on who they wanted to send home, which didn't surprise me. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, before I say who the two people that they picked, the people that I expected them to pick out of the boys. Okay, so out of the boys, I expected them to pick Brian. Y'all can leave. I'll leave it to the imagine. Let y'all imagine. Leave it to the imagination on why I thought that they would pick Brian. And then they picked for the girls. I thought that they would pick Kiera. Okay, obviously because Kiera is very green compared to the other guys, she should have been on a different show. I don't think that this show is. I don't think she's on the speed of this show. Okay, and so the guys did pick Kiera, but the girls. Now the girls, it was a whole whatever. I don't think that they could really make up their minds. All the girls had a different guy that they wanted to pick, and when they were discussing it, one of the girls said I think it was Sheila. Sheila said Michael's name, and that pissed Dez off. Dez like, bitch, out of all guys, why would you choose Michael? Like for real. And I'm kind of in agreement with Dez on that because literally he's one of the better guys there. So if y'all was gonna eliminate somebody, it should have been another guy, fucking Brian. Okay, but to be honest, it is too early for eliminations. It really is. It's too early. They on day 2. The couple's been shifted around at least 3 times at this point. It really is too early to determine who should go home. I mean, seriously, we haven't seen enough. But that's neither here nor there. So when they make their announcements, of course, the boys pick Kiera, and then Sheila makes the announcement for for the girls, and she says Michael's name. Now, when she says Michael's name, Desi goes off because Desi's like, we didn't agree to that. You the only person that's saying that. So then her and Sheila goes back and forth. Now I can kind of understand Sheila's frustration too, to some extent, okay? But then again, not really, because at the end of the day, when they were discussing it and you said Michael's name, Desi got. You could tell then that it obviously everybody didn't agree. She should have made sure that everybody was in agreement before she just up and just said whatever name she wanted to say, because that's really what it seemed like when she said Michael's name. Nobody else seemed to have agreed with her on that. Okay, I don't know if it was maybe the limited time that they had to make the decision or whatever, but either way, she should have went for some. The minute that Desi disagreed with her or anybody disagreed with her, she should have went with another name and tried to make sure that everybody was on the same page. But I think she just blurted out whatever, okay? And so her and Desi go to arguing back and forth for a little bit, okay? But Ray J says that this is final. At this point, he don't started up the drama and he ready to send their ass, dismiss their ass. So he ends up saying like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to sleep on this. Obviously, there's not going to be elimination tonight. So everybody leaves and they go back to the room to get dressed. But when the girls go back to the dressing room to get ready for the night, shit gets real. So Sheila's in the dressing room going off saying how she feels some type of way because the girls didn't have her back. Like she was up there, she spoke out, and nobody disagreed. Nobody was speaking out. So Desi's like, what are you talking about? Because I said something. When you were saying Mike's name, I said something. Like, why would I agree with you trying to send home the guy that I'm talking to? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that is true. Desi was talking, but like, I think that Sheila had to be drunk. Because it's like, it was at one point where Desi made a comment about she was going to be the one to play the villain or whatever. Sheila misunderstood what she said and made her like repeat what she said, And it still kept running across her head. So I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, Sheila, you definitely fucking tripping. I even watched the scene twice to try to see, like, to try to give Sheila some leeway. Like, okay, I can understand her being frustrated because it is embarrassing when you up there and you got to speak for the group, but the group is not agreeing with you. Like, it is crazy. But at the same time, like I said, when Desi said Mike's name, Sheila should have made sure and double checked that everybody agreed with that. You feel me? But it is what it is. So her and Des at this point, they going back and forth, like they arguing, and I could tell like Sheila cannot, she really cannot. She ain't got the comeback, and she ain't got a mouth that run 99 miles an hour like Desi. Desi was reading Sheila as for filth, okay, calling her delusional and everything. So at one point, Kiara speaks out and said, "Well, I said John." And a couple of the other girls was like, I said this and I said that or whatever. So clearly, none of the girls agreed on Michael. Okay, so so Sheila gets mad at Kiara and says, you wanna laugh? You think it's funny?" She goes and try to get it all in Kiara's face, and I was mad as fuck because I was like, bitch, Kiara is not who you mad at. You mad at Desi, okay? But the fact that she ran her ass over there in Kiara's face said a lot to me. I didn't like that because Kiara, of all people, like, why'd you getting bootsy with a girl that you know ain't gonna fight you? So anyway, before you know it, Sheila pushed back. When I seen her easing up on Desi and she pushed back that chair, when she kicked that chair back with her leg, I already knew something was for to jump off because the way a bitch clearing space, you know something for to happen, right? But obviously Desi didn't know. So before you know it, Sheila goes over and punched the shit out of motherfucking Desi. And a fight squad, the fight squabble break out, okay? Now, when by at this point the guys, they come in there, they trying to break up the fight or whatever, whoop the whoop, and as they coming in, Desi manages to punch the shit out of Sheila. She ended up getting her lick back, okay, more than once at that, but she punched the shit out of Sheila before they broke it up. So mind you, at this point Sheila going crazy, like this bitch is just being extra as fuck, like I can understand she had a fight with Kier. I mean, a fight with Desi, but I don't understand why she was so, like, she was just doing a lot, throwing shit, kicking shit, acting belligerent. And so the guys kept trying to grab Sheila, and Sheila ended up kicking the fuck out of Thanos. You can tell Thanos was mad. That nigga just, he balled up his face and walked off. You could tell, like, if she had been a nigga, she would have got hit. No doubt, no doubt. Okay? And so as Sheila is going crazy, Ray J comes in. So he comes in and he grabs Sheila and pulls Sheila off to the side. Sheila had the audacity to say that it was self-defense. Bitch, what was self-defense about you attacking that girl? Like, you attacked her first. So how the fuck was that self-defense? I don't get it. So, anywho, Michael. Now, I love the way Michael handled Desi with this whole situation. You can tell that he really likes her. Like, you can tell when a guy like you. They don't want to see you crash out. They don't want to see you get hurt. Okay? And that's exactly what he was doing for Desi. He was calming her down. You can see, like, the way that he, like, was talking to her. You could see her. You could visibly see her calming down. And he impressed me even more because Desi was like, oh, I'm going to go get something to eat or whatever. Michael knew that she had to walk past Sheila, so he was like, "Don't do it," because he felt like Desi was still mad, so she probably would have tried to fight Sheila again. So he escorted her to make sure nothing happened. Right? It was so much so that Ray J said, "Oh, you just gonna walk past us and play bodyguard for her?" This shit was funny as fuck. However, as him and Desi was walking past Sheila, Desi looks back at Sheila and say, "You lucky. You better be something about bitch you lucky or something like that." So Sheila was like, "Lucky where?" So Sheila starts following behind Desi down the hallway, and this bitch grabs one of the trees that they had, like the little decoration tree. That she grabbed the fucking tree and tried to drag that bitch. I don't know what she thought she was gonna do with that tree, but she dropped that bitch. And by the time she got to Desi, pop, 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 me, popped her all in her shit, whooped her ass, put that bitch in a chokehold, and pop, pop, pop. I don't know what the fuck Sheila thought she was gonna do with Dez, But Des gave her that motherfucking work, and it was well deserved, because at this point, like, girl, you already initiated a fight, and you keep on, keep on, keep on. Like, it's not that serious. Like, you felt a little embarrassed because the other girls didn't step up behind you, whatever the case is. You didn't like Desi because of her mouth, but after y'all got that first little round out, you should have just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really not that deep. But unfortunately, hopefully when she looked back at this and she realized what the fuck she did, she realized that it was very embarrassing. Okay, because she embarrassed herself. Now, what I don't like is how Ray J started getting spicy with the girls. Like, first he was in there talking to Sheila about whatever. And so Sheila's like, okay, well, did you say the same thing to her? And he was like, I don't have to do anything. Da, 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 da. And then at some point he ended up going to talk to Desi, and he kind of low key snapped on Desi too, because for some reason Desi said the same thing. Did you say that to her? Like, she was the aggressor or whatever. Now with Desi, Desi had a point. Desi was like, I'm just trying to make sure that you know who the aggressor was, basically. And Ray J just didn't give a fuck. He had already done started this shit. Now this nigga energy drained, so he ready to go and wrap shit up for the night. He started telling everybody to go to sleep. Bitch, how they gonna go to sleep after you don't stirred up all this bullshit? Now the girls don't got into a whole motherfucking fight, and you want to beat them, get mad. Like, make it make sense, Ray J. At this point, I think that this nigga, they need to replace him as the host, because he is just causing a bunch of chaos and confusion for no reason. For no reason. Okay? So you see people, you see some of the people like grouped up or whatever. For the most part, everybody seemed to agree with Desi about Sheila. Like, you know, Sheila did spaz out. So for the most part, everybody seemed to agree with her. But then Sheila had her own little clique of people that was in the room with her. And I believe it was John, Althena, and Thanos. Okay. So they explained they ended up calling Thanos into the vanity room with Sheila them, and Sheila is, you know, apologized to Thanos for kicking him and shit like that. Thanos took this as an opportunity to try to shoot his shot, so he up there like, you know, are you open to like exploring, and went stuttering like a motherfucker. I said, damn nigga, was that kick to the chest? Did that make you fall in love with Sheila? Because he went from being 38 hot to the minute she apologized, now he trying to holler. Like, make it make sense. Dudes are so crazy. Okay. And here go Kimmo. So at one point, Desi takes off to go to the showers. Okay. And Kimmo follows behind her and sneaks him a kiss. Okay. He's talking about her getting into the fight with Sheila turned him on or whatever. And so he sneaks a kiss. See, I don't like niggas like that, because when that girl was sitting in front of Mike Hill and she said, see, I can't talk to niggas like y'all because y'all don't defend me. Mike Hill was the one that defended her. And he told my son, well, that's your nigga. You know, that's his job. You know, I leave that up to your man. I don't want to step up your toes. But then you sneak and kiss the girl. Like, child, it's going to be a whole lot of drama. Um, And so everybody pretty much wrap it up for the night. The next morning we find out that Chloe and Kimmo slept together. Okay. Not only did Chloe and Kimmo sleep together, but Althena and Trap got it on too. All right. Which makes things even more so awkward, because as the day progresses, we see the couples kind of, you know, the new paired up couples break off to have conversations. Okay. So, mind you, Althena is now paired with Michael. And so her and Michael goes to have a conversation. And the first thing he does is ask her about what's going on with her and Trap. And at this point, it's no need to lie, because I'm pretty sure Althena knows that he knew what was going on, what had happened between her and Trap. So she confessed, she admitted it, but you can tell that this situation, this little, there's no chemistry between them for one. He was never attracted to Althena, so that's already, you know what I'm saying? And not to mention the fact that she's already slept with somebody else in the house. Yeah, Althena, not, and it's crazy work, but it's not fair. It's not fair, but it's going to be harder for her moving forward than it will be for Trap. women are a lot more forgiving than men. The other guys are probably be looking at Althea sideways now that she's slept with Trap. So Mike did right to ask her that question because that's something that she needs to seriously consider. He asked her how do she think it's gonna affect her moving forward, trying to explore and talk to other people in the house, being that she already don't slept with Trap. That is a good question. Next up, we see John and Chloe. Okay, at this point, John already don't nickname Chloe CDG, aka Chloe the certified dick grabber. That's what he that's what he nicknamed Chloe. Okay, and so he starts off the conversation between her and him, and say, "What made you want to fuck me?" That man done ain't got no clue. Okay, and then so Chloe was like, "Well, I always liked your personality." And so then he's like, "Well, was that you getting bust down last night?" Chloe was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Yeah, how do you feel about that?" He was like, "I don't care." He was like, "I'm just waiting on my turn." I said, "This dude here is a fucking trip." But realistically, I do not see it for Chloe and John. I'm sorry. Like, Chloe say that she's attracted to John's personality, but I really don't think she can handle it because that man there is something else. Okay. Next up, we see Brian and Issa. Now, based off the conversation between them, Brian was basically saying that he feels like he basically trying to tell Nisa that he feel like they should explore. Okay. He also tells her that if he had to choose another girl in the house, it would be Kiara. Which I could see Brian and Kiara talking. You know what I'm saying? Kiara's kind of green. Brian's a shrimp. Hell, they a match made in heaven. But Nisa, on the other hand, she doesn't know what her other options are. I think that she had at this point she don't got comfortable with Brian, and that would be a mistake, love. Because if you guys ever watch Love Island, that's the last thing that you should do is get too comfortable in your coupling because anything can happen. Okay, they're only a couple of days in, so she really should be trying to get to know some of the other guys. Okay. Um, Speaking of Kiara, we see Kiara and Kimo next. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I definitely get friend vibes between them two. Nothing romantic, not a spark, not even an interest from either one of them. I think it's just strictly friendship. Okay. Um, then we see Desi and Thanos. Um, I also see them as being nothing more than friends for the simple fact I don't think that their personalities is compatible. See, Thanos made a comment about Desi being combative, and for me, I don't think that. I thought that he wanted a girl with more edge, but then again, I don't think he can handle that because after seeing um, Sheila and Desi fight, I think that that kind of turned him off to both of them in a way. You know what I'm saying? Um, Now, the last couple we get to see is Sheila and Trap. Now, this conversation between them two was interesting, okay? Because Sheila asked Trap about Althena, about what's the deal with him and Althena, and she told him that she heard rumors that something went on between them the night before or whatever. Woo. Tell me why Trap stopped right in this girl face and lied and said that they wasn't doing nothing but talking. Mind you, Athena already know. I mean, Sheila already know the truth because Athena had told her that morning. But my thing is, he should have naturally assumed that she knew because she asked. If she asked and said, "Hey, I heard rumors," that's because she knows. See, thing about women, we don't ask questions unless we know the answer already. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how we operate. We asking a certain question, we already know what time it is. We just want to see what your response is gonna be. And he definitely fucked that up with Sheila. If he thought he was gonna have opportunity, he fucked it up because he don't reveal what kind of nigga he is. He sat right there and lied to her face when he didn't have to. Okay. Um. And so, anywho, child, the episode goes off with the last challenge. So everybody gather around the boom boom room, and Ray J comes out and presents the next challenge. Okay, and so the next challenge is basically you have to massage. The girls have to massage the guy, and whoever can make their guy get hard the fastest wins the challenge. Okay, so the nigga got the baby oil and all of that shit. So the episode goes off with us seeing Chloe being the first up to perform. Okay, and let me tell you, homegirl looked like she was having a fucking field day. Not to mention, we get a sneak peek for next week's episode. Looks like they're gonna bring in two flames. Okay, so they call them flames instead of bombshells. So we got two new people coming that's gonna shake shit up in the house. And I'm wondering how this is gonna work because you already got Trap who don't slept with Althea. You already got Chemo who don't slept with Chloe. So we're gonna see what's gonna really go down and how these couples is gonna work and twerk. Okay. So with that being said, folks, that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video recap. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section. Tell me who you think is the best couple at this point. Like we on episode 2. No, this is episode 3. So we on episode 3. So tell me who you guys are feeling. Who's your favorite girl and who's your favorite guy. With that being said, folks, I'm out. Deuces.